SMU working up-tempo, finding its rhythm. Mordecai slings it. Jump ball! Rice has it! First and goal for SMU. 50-50 balls belong to Rashee Rice.
This is an interesting player that comes to mind is Rashee Rice. This is a wide receiver at a Southern Methodist, 6'3", 206 pounds. Big body, good hands, attacks the ball. He has all of those intangibles that you want from an NFL wide receiver. And you watch film on him, and you're like, man, this guy could be the next Justin Jefferson. Well, in 2021, there was another player who was supposed to be the next Justin Jefferson, and that was Terrace Marshall. Terrace Marshall and Rashee Rice have very similar scouting reports. They have very similar film, big hands, over the top, they catch those 50-50 balls. You know, they're strong, they're prototypical. And I'll tell you what, the jury is not out on Terrace Marshall yet. I think he still has a chance of being a really good NFL player. But the problem is, when you have players like Rashee Rice and Terrace Marshall, you really have to pay attention to the landing spot, because most of their output comes in the second to third level. And if that's the case, you need a good offense around you to be able to produce at the NFL level. There's more than just getting the ball and being able to make a play with it. They're not a Tyreek Hill. They're not that type of player. They're not Devontae Adams. They're not that type of player. So in order for Rashee Rice to be successful, whatever NFL team he lands on is going to have a good offensive line. Why? Because the quarterback's going to need time for Rashee Rice to get into the second level or to get into the third level. And if that's not happening, he's probably not getting the ball. He's not super explosive off the line. His acceleration is average to below average. And yeah, he's strong enough where you can't press him off the line, but he's just not that quick. So he is fast, but his speed is going to show on go routes. His speed's going to show on hook routes, 15 yards down the field. His college production, he averaged 14 yards per catch. Terrace Marshall averaged 15 yards per catch. Senior year for Rashee Rice, 10 touchdowns. Terrace Marshall in 2020 was actually on pace for about 17 touchdowns. 96 catches for Rashee Rice. Terrace Marshall in 2020 on pace for 82 catches. Again, you look at these guys, you look at their size. Terrace Marshall, I think out of the draft was 6'2", 205. So they're almost identically built, almost identical film. And I just think you're going to get a Terrace Marshall 2.0. And when thinking about that, think about like what you can buy Terrace Marshall for right now. Next to nothing. You can go out and get that guy for, on draft day, a 4th round pick, a couple of 4th round picks, maybe a late 3rd if you don't want to throw a dart. And right now, Pro Football Network has Rashee Rice going 202. Right now, Fantasy Pros has him going 202. Dynasty Nerds, and these are in Superflex mocks, Dynasty Nerds doesn't even have him in the top 2 rounds, which I think might be more appropriate, to be honest with you. But at 202, you have other players that you can go to who are probably gonna give you more production early in their NFL career than Rashee Rice. You're probably gonna have to be patient with this guy. You're gonna have to wait for him to develop, even if he ends up on a good offense. And if not, you're gonna have to wait for him to have a good offense built around him, which is probably going to be a 2 or 3 year process. So that he might be a year 3 breakout. And that's kind of how I project him. So at 202, you take a risk on somebody else. So if you're in a full rebuild because you're at the start of the 2nd round, that's where you're drafting. You probably finished in 10th, 11th place this year in your dynasty league. Yeah, you're probably looking for a young wide receiver. I would look more, or even a tight end loaded draft. I would be looking more for tight end Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. I'd be looking for Zay Flowers out of Boston College. I'd be looking at Jalen Hyatt out of Tennessee. I'd be looking at Josh Downs out of North Carolina. Those would be the players I would be targeting, who I think can give you more immediate upside. And then, this is what I would do with Rashee Rice, because again, I don't think the jury is out on Terrace Marshall yet. I think what you do with Rashee Rice is you wait till next offseason to see how the offense he's on is going to progress, and you trade cheap for him. Or you wait 2 seasons, and you wait for that year 3, and you try to buy him real cheap before he breaks out. And that's how I would handle the Rashee Rice situation. So let me know what you think. Like, comment on the video, subscribe to our TikTok channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where these videos are going to be. I'll be on just about every week to post one of these videos, just providing some kind of player profile for you guys. I've also discussed so far this offseason some dynasty rebuild strategies. I talked a little bit about Josh Jacobs and what to do with him. So I might come on and talk about some buy now candidates, some sell now candidates in dynasty. So yeah, like the video, subscribe to TikTok, subscribe to YouTube, and I'll be on next week to talk some more about a different player. Have a great day, guys.